So, we're here today at the Kava house in Swisher, and I'm with Sean Ralph. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. So, tell me a little bit about the Kava house.
Well, the Kava house has been around since 2008. Karen and Craig bought it in 2007 and opened it in 2008, and we purchased it August of last year. Kava house is a coffee shop, a pastry shop, a restaurant. We have lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
Wow. So, and you chose Swisher.
Yeah.
What made Swisher the location that they started and that you kept?
Well, it's just Karen and Craig are here, local, and my husband and I lived in Shoeyville, which is part of Swisher, for about 10 years, and we used to own the bar down the street, so we always came down here to eat and loved it. The atmosphere is amazing, and we just loved it here.
So, you all had the Black Squirrel, what's now the Black Squirrel Tap?
It was Shooters when we had it, yeah.
Okay, because we were just there, and
yeah.
we filmed there last month, and they were talking about the Kava house and how they still come up, and
Yeah.
so it's nice that it's very,
Yeah.
personable. Everybody knows each other and supports each other.
Yeah, and everyone sends, we send customers down to the vault and to the bar, and they send them to us. So it's a great environment and a really good community to be a part of.
And so it's been pretty seamless transition. The community. I mean, you're still busy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, Karen and Craig, we came in June and started training with them, and they spent time with us to just go through the recipes and how things were done and how they did things so that we could keep everything the same. We have a full-time baker and a full-time griller, and they all stayed on. And so the transition was just really smooth, and once we took over in August, it kind of felt like it was just seamless.
I love coming to Kava and having dessert and some coffee. I'm going to get a couple desserts today. Do you guys make your desserts in-house?
Yes, all of them are made in-house. We have a full-time baker, Jessica Mersch, does all of our baking.
Fantastic. And is she just local, just for here, or does she?
No, just for here.
So you have to come to Kava to get these really awesome desserts. I'm going to get a banana cake.
Okay.
And I am going to do the black bottom.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Black bottom cake. Yeah, to go please. Sorry.
What made you go from bar to all-day restaurant?
Well, we've done multiple things. Most of my adult life I've run a preschool, daycare, and the bar.
So bar was the next logical step.
The bar was short-lived because we ended up with a surprise baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, and then we had Matty B's Pizza in Shoeyville, and then we had a daycare. So it was just kind of one of those things that just evolved, and we sold the daycare and found out this was for sale, and we didn't want to see it close because we loved it and we loved the community, so we're like, we should check this out. And it just fit.
And so both of you have a background in restaurant touring?
Not really. Just the bar and Matty B's, and I did the cooking at the daycare. So I just have all around experience, I guess I would say.
So talk to me a little bit about then what your plan is 5 years down the road. Where do you want the Kava house to be?
I honestly haven't thought 5 years down the road. We just want it to be successful and change as it's needed, and continue to make good food and bring people from all around here and make it a place where people share stories and memories. And this is a 100-year-old building, so there's a lot of local people that have seen it as a general store, have seen it as a bar, so just a laundromat. So there's just a lot of history here, and just the families that are around here coming. So we just want to continue that tradition.
Okay, and obviously we were at Black Squirrel Tap in the Vault, and they were talking about how a ton of people come through Swisher, for you guys, for them. What is the draw to Swisher and the Kava house specifically?
I just think it's the hospitality and the people. The food it's like your grandma's kitchen. Everything is made here. Our baker does an amazing job. So everything you see in our pastry case is made from scratch. And it's good portions and it's good food. And people just love it. And I think it draws people because of the feel. You walk in, and someone said to me a couple weeks ago, they walk in and it feels like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
And so I just think people love that, and there's not a lot of places like this around.
Right. So, and I'm assuming this was always the case, but the Kava house serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's open, 6 days a week?
Yeah, 5 days a week. We're closed Sunday and Mondays.
Okay. And is that hard to do to be open that amount of time per day, like 5 days a week?
No, I think those 2 days give us some restocking and just a refueling. Definitely isn't something we would want to do 6 or 7 days a week because, you know, you just need those days to just recharge.
Right.
And make sure that you have food so we're not running out. So, no, I feel like the hours are great. We're open 6:30 to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, and then on Saturdays 8 to 8.
Okay, so tell people how to find you.
Well, we're right off of 380, exit 10, and we are downtown Swisher.
Do you have an online presence?
Yes, we do. You can find us on Facebook. We post our specials, our whatever muffins we're having, scones every day, usually by 7:30, 7:45. We'll post that. And then we have a website, and then you can also email us at kavahouse@yahoo.com.
So Derek, I'm pretty familiar with this place, but what did you think of it?
Well, it was nice to be back in Swisher. You know, we were just here last month, and so it was nice because we heard so much about the Kava House from everywhere else that we were at. And so it's neat to put pictures to the place.
Yeah. Sean is the newer owner.
Yeah.
It used to be owned by Karen and her husband, and they had it for, I think, 15 years. They really started it and got it going. And so I'm excited to see that a second owner now is finding success and continuing the Kava menu, the Kava lifestyle. I really appreciate it here, and the dessert's always fantastic.
Well, and that's one of the things too. Like she talked about the transition. They came in and helped, and they made sure it was seamless. They had people stay, like their baker and everything, stay on their full-time griller. And for business to be successful, they need smooth transitions. You know, whether it's from family to family or one family to a new family. It's nice to have those transition elements because that's what makes businesses long-term successful.
Well, and especially in rural communities, a lot of the clientele is always worried when a new owner is taking over. Are they going to change everything? Is the menu going to be different? And I think they were really cognizant of how they wanted to keep things the same and make small changes a little bit at a time if they are going to make any changes. Right now, it's pretty much a lot the same, and I appreciate that.
Well, and that's what she said. They came in and they trained with the previous owners, and the goal was to keep it the same, make sure they understood how Kava came to be and was formed going forward. And when I asked about, hey, where do you see it in 5 years? She was very clear, and maybe the same. And maybe the changes are happen as they're needed, but it's not something that came with this grand plan that, oh, we're going to do X, Y, and Z and completely go hog wild, because they've owned a ton of different businesses from listening to them. So they know what it's like to be in business and different types of businesses, and knowing that sometimes consistency is key, and not every business owner knows that.
Right. Another thing I like about this building is there are apartments upstairs. So when they bought the business, they bought the whole building. So even if maybe they had made some changes, they have a steady income stream, right? They can make it, they can see how their business is going to go and not have to worry about the grind every single second. So if you're looking for a rural business to buy, try to find a building that has upper story housing.
Multiple sources of income are always good because, you know, it's January. So that time of year is traditionally lower. People are just penny pinched out. They've been traveling, holiday, all this stuff. People need a break. So this time of year, it can be sort of a doldrums for business. But knowing that you have another form of income that's year round is super helpful.
That is. Speaking of, it's January, we still had to wait a little bit because there were a lot of people here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday in a small rural community. So that is a testament, I think, to how well they do and how much people like the food, like the drink, like the atmosphere.
Well, yeah, and she said, similar to some of the other small town like restaurants and stuff we've been to over the course of these years, is that people like to come, they like to tell stories. It's still that community gathering space. It's the community water cooler that you may not have at work. You know, a lot of people working from home. They have maybe 4-day work weeks. You know, they work off hours, but they still have this local gathering spot where they can still be involved community-wise.
They're also in a prime position. Swisher is about really close to Cedar Rapids and also really close to Iowa City, and they're close to 380. So there's it's an easy drive to get here for people who live nearby.
Well,
zip over.
My family and I were coming back from my family's Christmas, and we swung through because we just filmed here, and it was a mile off the interstate. It's not like it's 10, 15 miles. You're like, oh, there's a half an hour wasted. It could literally be 5 minutes. We drove in, we saw where we'd filmed. It wasn't open, so we just got right back out. But it's one of those things that, you know, it's easy to do, and the easier you make it for people to find you, you know, they're online. They have an online presence, so they're easy to find. Then when you're down here, they're easy to find as well.
And if you're gonna be traveling down the interstate and you need to stop and get something to eat, this is much better than McDonald's or
Yeah.
a drive-through somewhere. You're still gonna have to pull off and go through a drive-through. Why not come to a small town like Swisher and enjoy food?
Yeah, and especially in the spring and everything, in the summer, they have outdoor seating. You have a nice little gazebo outside, so you can still have sort of that outdoor picnic feel. They got that picnic feeling. Talk about Grandma's kitchen. Like you got all that stuff you can do. You don't get that a lot of places, and it's still for the line they had. It was relatively quick. Like they were cycling people
They
through,
get them in and out.
so it's something that you can easily do, and it's worth taking the time.
The other thing is, she just purchased this not too long ago, but she's already active in the Swisher Economic Alliance. She's already helped with the first fundraiser that they had. Getting involved in the community, I think, is also a really good way if you're starting a new business in a rural community to get in and get in good with the residents.
Well, and it was funny because we were talking, she's like, oh, we own the bar down the street. And I was like, oh, you own what's now the Black Squirrel Tap. We were just there. They were talking about how they send people up here and they send people down. It's that nice camaraderie that is not competition, it's working together. Everybody wins.
Right. So, to be clear, the people who own the vault also own the tap bar.
Right.
Not these ones, but yes.
Right, yes. But just saying, it's all interconnected
It's all
in small
interconnected.
towns.
They all
Like, you
work
can't
well
get away from
together.
each
They
other.
all work well together.
Yeah, so when you're Swisher, stop by.